Hi, my name is Brian Kroll. I'm the Western Regional Director for AdTaxi Networks, and today we're here to continue our discussion on Google Analytics. Right now we're going to jump into part 2, which is understanding analytics from the client's perspective. So we want to talk through 4 basic client scenarios that we'll typically see out in the field here. The first scenario would be someone who has 0 Google Analytics at all on their site. They're not using it. Second scenario would be someone who they have Google Analytics and they may just not use it, or they're not sure how to use it. So they're not really using it to its full potential. Third scenario would be someone that has Google Analytics. They're definitely using it. They're using it frequently, and in some cases they may actually be using it against us when it comes to going back and fighting for our business. And then the fourth scenario would be these are people who are Google Analytics super users, and they might be also using additional analytics sources such as Omniture, etc. So let's jump into the scenarios here. Okay, so let's get into scenario 1, which is a client or a prospect who doesn't have Google Analytics at all. So strategy on this is you want to do your homework before you go out and meet with this client. You can ask the client if they use Google Analytics, but I find it's more helpful if you show up and you already know the answer to the question before you ask the question. So first thing to do, it's really easy to check. There are a couple different ways you can do this, but the best way is an extension that I've found to use in Chrome or in Safari. It's called Ghostery. It's a free extension. It's available for most browsers, and what it does is Ghostery provides instant insights into the tags that are running on any given web page or any given site. So let me show you real fast how to download Ghostery and install it in your browser. So now that you've downloaded Ghostery and installed it into your browser, let's talk about how you're going to use this valuable information on the sales call. So this allows us to ask informed questions, or what we call guided discovery, with the client during the sales process. So we'll be able to now use the appropriate level of technical talk with this client. If we know someone has 0 analytics knowledge of what happens on their site, we're not going to rush right into the sales call with incredibly technical jargon, because we'll probably scare off the client at that point. So when you know that someone has no knowledge of what's going on their site, you can start using the right questions, such as, wouldn't it be great to know where your visitors were coming from? Wouldn't it be great to know what people were looking at on your site? Do you know the top products or services people are interested in when they're coming to your website? This allows you to be a valuable resource for your clients. It allows you to help guide them through getting started with Google Analytics, and it also helps you further along the sales process because it develops that trust between you and your potential client. So scenario 2 would be meeting with a client or a prospect who has Google Analytics, but they don't use it so much, or maybe they're just not sure how to use it properly. So the strategy with this would be sit down with the client, help guide them through Google Analytics, show them how it works. This is something that helps, remember, keeping you a trusted resource with your client, and helps further you along the sales process over our competition. So when talking with clients who don't have analytics on their site and are unsure why, or maybe they don't use it very much, I like to use an analogy with someone's actual physical brick and mortar business. So for instance, what if you knew that the placement of your merchandise in your store was such that people couldn't easily find what they were looking for? People would probably stop shopping with you. They'd turn around and leave and walk out the door because they'd be frustrated if they couldn't find what they came in to find. Or also, what if you were able to gain insight into which products were generating the most interest in your store? You may think that widget A is what everyone's coming to you for, and that may be what you're advertising, but in essence it actually may be widget B is the thing that everybody wants to come buy from you. So if you're able to use this knowledge to make smarter decisions around your advertising and your marketing, it can lead to much greater ROI for your business. So the benefit of this tool is its insight into customer behavior. It's cataloging everything everybody's doing on your website, and this key business intelligence really allows you to modify your site content or your site marketing to really increase your return on your investment. So let me show you some examples of how someone would use this as a tool in those exact situations. So in scenario 3, we have a client or a prospect who they have Google Analytics on their site, they use it, and they might use it against you. And when I say they might use it against you, I'm talking about post-campaign or in campaign optimization. What we are doing is making sure that the traffic that we're providing is living up to the standards of what that client expects. So we're trying to meet the client's expectations and continue to gain their business with our advertising. So this is really crucial during the needs assessment phase of your initial meeting with the client to really ask the right questions about how someone's going to be using their analytics and also how they're going to be evaluating that traffic. So questions I always ask someone would be, how do you use your Google Analytics? What insights do you like to gain from Google Analytics? How do you track your ad performance? If someone have goals set up, are they tracking conversions with their ads? What typically do they find is working? What's not working? What's their end goal with each campaign? Is it awareness, or is it a specific event or action happening on their website? And how do people find them? Do they find them more through paid search? Do they find them through organic search? What are the types of keywords that people use to find a business? And also, what are the traffic patterns? Do they find that their web traffic is busier during the week or during the weekend or during certain hours or times during the day? All of this information is crucial because it allows us to then better prepare a campaign strategy to dovetail nicely with their traffic patterns or to fill in the gap where they may be missing traffic. So remember, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to reverse engineer campaigns to deliver the best possible success for the client. And the more information we know about a client's target audience or target geography or target market and the end goals for success for the campaign, the better we'll be able to deliver positive ROI for the client. So let me show you some live examples of how this might be used from analysis of an ad traffic source in Google Analytics. So the fourth scenario that we typically see would be the most advanced scenario. And these are clients or prospects who are super users of Google Analytics. And they're also probably using additional analytics sources such as Omniture or Web Trends. So the strategy remains the same. We want to ask appropriate questions, but we're getting more into the sophisticated use of Google Analytics at this point. And we want to tie it to how they're using this platform to the way that they run their business. So it goes back to measuring success, but we're going to get probably more into the specific metrics here. So do they have analytics synced up with their AdWords accounts? Are they tracking e-commerce with their analytics? Are they looking for specific events to happen from traffic, such as people filling out form fills? Do they have a way to track phone calls through Google Analytics if they're set up with a web provider such as If by Phone or someone like that? There may be other things that they're looking at to track activity. They maybe have additional code to look at psychographics of users. So in addition to just seeing where someone's coming from, they want to get more information on what that audience looks like within a geography. So these are all really great questions to ask when you have more advanced clients you're talking to get as much information as possible, because remember, we're still reverse engineering for success here, but if we don't have the appropriate information, we're not able to best engineer the best campaign for that client. So the more we know about their target audience, their target geography, even their target psychographics, or their past history with clients on their site or users on their site, the better we're going to be able to deliver a positive ROI. And let me show you some examples of what these types of platforms might look like as well. So these are some of the scenarios that we most frequently find when dealing with clients or prospects when it comes to Google Analytics. So the way I like to think about it ahead of time is try and figure out, do your research, try and figure out which client you're going to see, which scenario do they fall into, and the more prepared you are going on a sales call, the better your chances of closing that client, or better yet, building them a successful campaign based on the knowledge you've gleaned from that conversation. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you found this session useful, and for more information, please visit the Google Analytics Academy that Ty referenced in Chapter 1. Thank you very much. Have a good day.